the general purchasing power that you have had with the Federal Reserve note. This means that wages, this means costs, this means a lot of things are going to adjust. Nobody really knows exactly how far or to what exact extent, but they do know that this form of equity system, it's already been put in place in what's called the Eastern Alliance by some 130 plus nations, is an open system. In other words, there's no backdoor playing games, shooting several $1 billion to whomever, or any of that. These things are predicated on two bases. One, direct valuation. That means that that means that minerals have a certain value. Then to go along with this, productivity in terms of what the individual people are capable of doing and making sure that they have the opportunity to do so. This is the part of the revaluation that comes from the collateral accounts. The combination of the two are to see to the basic needs, and I did not say greeds, wants, and all that. I said needs of individuals. In other words, you may either be given a lump sum or as such a lump sum valuation of for a retirement, or a continuation of what we have now known as Social Security. The things that are in all of this are extraordinarily, like I say, complex. I'm not going to go into those as far as people probably would like, because there are consummate experts that are working on it as we speak. You got another question?
Can you elaborate on the FDIC? Apparently they were not insuring these banks as of August of last year. So is there going to be some kind of new insurance program put in place for the new monetary system? And is the monetary system, does it go back to John F. Kennedy's system that he created before he was killed?
It's a combination of systems. It includes part of JFK's idea in that a currency of a country should be backed by some value. Okay, the values are going to be slightly differential. One country may not have the value of China or some country in the Ukraine may have a greater value than a country in South America. So there will be a slight differential. The difference will be that these things will no longer be a debt instrument, and debt as such will be basically taken care of. It will not. The national debt is only 1.4 trillion. It ain't 27. It ain't 130 trillion like everybody's saying. You have to remember another thing. The banking system, known as the central bank, owned by the Rothschilds and Rockefellers and Bushes and people of this nature, are the ones that have not only caused the problem, but perpetrated it in the first place as much as possible. And this has been going on for centuries, so it's well entrenched, and it's going. And it's easiest to think about one thing, and this will give you a real good idea as to how squirrely this is going to be to unwind. Think about the IRS, all of it, not just one part, but all of it. Not just all of that big stack of stuff you find at the library when it's time to file your taxes for them to steal your money, but think about the record keeping. Think about how many files we're going to have to go through. We're going to need as many certified public accountants as can be had on the planet just for the one little IRS thing. Then you get into the Treasury. So it goes on and on. You get into world finance, you're getting into the World Bank, you're getting into the International Monetary Fund, and the relationship between the Vatican Bank, the Federal Reserve Bank, the fact that the Federal Reserve Bank here in this country actually has controlling interests in a lot of the other central banking systems all over the planet, and you begin to get the idea as to how far-reaching what is going on is. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, can you elaborate on the Pope? Everybody was waiting to see something about the Pope stepping down, or is that something that's going to be kept from us? Are we going to know about it? What's the update on the Pope?
You'll know about it. I'm not exactly sure exactly when it's going to happen. The problem is that everybody has heard about the scandals with the problems within the church, and those problems run to that particular individual. There are other things that are nastier than that are going to come out that people are going to be shocked at. I'm not going to divulge those at this time, but they eat nice. It's not something I conscience easily, and it's definitely not something a church should be doing. So I would suggest that we wait until the house cleaning starts, because all of these little secret places, all of the places that have been hidden away and things people were not supposed to be doing that they've been doing, are going to be outed publicly. You're going to know who did what to who, to what extent, how many times, the whole 9 yards. So if the Pope is involved, which I understand he is, then you're going to have some real serious problems in terms of the Pope. You're going to have some serious problems in terms of the church itself. It owes hundreds of billions of dollars that it does not have, among other things. This deals with the bank.
Any comment or thoughts on Canada and the U.S. Laying off or removing so many border guard troops? INS here in America, and I don't know what the border guard troops are called in Canada. But is there any thoughts on them laying off so many people at once?
Well, if you don't have border security, then people can go in and out as they please unnoticed. And part of the problem with the United States is that the people who live around the borders generally are what would be considered country-type people, or they are in a country type of business. What that does is that makes them watch the land. That makes them keep their eyes open and their ears to the ground. And they know when the smugglers are coming across. They know where. And it doesn't matter whether it's foreign troops moving in. It doesn't matter what it is. They are aware of it. Consequently, the border guards have been using those eyes and ears. The people that are really good are being gotten rid of. The people that are really good in the military are being gotten rid of as well. So the idea is to soften us up to a point where we cannot function. The idea is basically, and it's not just border guards, it's finances, it's everything, these laws, executive orders, you name it. All of this is primarily designed for the ruination of America. They want to take this country down. We are the only last bastion and basic point of birth for freedom on the planet. This is why we are so critically important, among other things. And that's about the best answer I can give you on that.
Okay, and I would invite everyone to look up American Kabuki. On his blog page, he's got links to 280 churches that have been foreclosed on by banks. So we're taking the framework down, folks. It is happening. Whether you see it or not, there's news articles to every one of those takedowns or foreclosures on Catholic, Presbyterian, Lutheran, all those churches that were financed through the money system and haven't been paid on. So the banks are foreclosing on them. And Deetra, do you have any questions? Or Muggsy, do you have any more questions?
I do.
I think Muggsy does, I'm sure.
Okay, go ahead, Muggsy.
I got 2 pages, just so you know. I have a homing crisis. We have homes that are being literally stolen by the bankers. We also have judges that are helping the bankers get the houses. And we also have people that have only missed one payment and their homes end up on homepath.com. Is there some kind of restitution in place to stop them from taking these homes, and how soon can we see it?
All of that restitution is coming in terms of the action to be taken. However, And I think we've got that on our website, Deatra.
So.
Terry would be the one to address that better, and she deals with debt collection. Some of the other people on there deal with foreclosures. What's the link to that?
The debt collection?
Yes.
Just go to our homepage, freedomreigns.us, and you can follow over to our blog from there, and there's a whole bunch of the debt elimination right there on the blog.
In other words, you've got professionals doing...
Oh, sorry.
Right.
People are wanting to know that some agencies like the IRS now they passed a bill where they can take their people's guns and also their passports.
Well, it depends on which end of the gun you're on as to how willing you might be to try to snatch it up. My passport stays with me until such time as I need to renew it. And that's one of the reasons I got a gun. If somebody thinks they want to come in the house and do something that they aren't supposed to be doing, we might have a problem. Now, I'm not saying the armed resistance is the answer in every case. However, a person is much less likely to cause problems in an area where people are known to be armed. Now, that goes specifically in all of your rural areas. Everybody, and I mean everybody, that lives in a rural area just about has a weapon of some sort to keep the coon from eating the baby birds or whatever else is going on. So, primarily, what you have to remember in this, when people put that sort of stuff out, the bad guys are running out of options. Their finances are all screwed up. The power base that they got from the finances is also being played games with. Then you got people like us on the radio calling on everything but a white man, and I don't mean that denigratively to anyone who is not white, but I'd say subhuman. And so the last ditch effort is to issue executive orders saying that I'm now king, or whatever else might come out. Or they'll issue directives, orders, regulations that obviously go absolutely against any form of rights, freedom, or constitutionality known to man. These are scare tactics, in my estimation. The problem is that the bad guys have lost their financial footing to a great extent. Most of this happened through Europe. It's getting ready to happen here in the United States. What that is, they do lose the power of influence and the capability to intimidate. I'm going to take your house, or whatever, okay? Bank of America is extraordinarily guilty and dirty, okay, as are all the other major banks. These people are going to have to answer for crimes against humanity. They're going to have to answer for the problem that somebody had with the medications because they didn't have an address for it to be mailed to, and their child died. Well, that's at very least a manslaughter charge for everybody involved. So these adjudications, bringing people to justice, sounds like a long, convoluted road. The matter-of-fact portion of it is that the majority of these people are going to be put into the FEMA camps they built for us, and we'll see how they like it.
I'd like to make a little statement.
Hang them or whatever.
Deatra and Drake, if you'd like to go beyond your time, be my guest. We've got too many people in here that are listening, and plus that, when my stream got hacked, and when it did, it took out the first hour of recording.
Right.
So if you want to go beyond, sweetie, be my guest.
Oh, my goodness. We still have, another hour as it is.
And the day has just begun, dear.
My day's almost half over, honey pie. I got family and kids here. They're already upset with